Hi, my name is Dr. James LePage. Today we're going to be talking about cold calling. Now, it's a fact most jobs are filled before they are ever advertised. An employee leaves or is fired. An employer has to fill that job quickly. So what he's going to do is try to fill it as fast as possible, because the longer it takes, the more money he loses. The job's not getting done. So what'll happen is people who work there will make referrals to him. Say, hey, I know somebody and he would be great for this job. Or somebody calls on the phone that day and says, are you hiring? And he says, yeah, we have somebody leave. Come on in and talk to us. The employer prefers this because it saves them money. They don't have to pay money in advertising. There's not a long delay between the position being vacant and the position being filled, and everyone is happy after that. So what you need to do is do cold calling. Cold calling is where you call an employer who you don't know if they've got a job opening or not, and you ask them, are y'all hiring? You tell them a little about yourself. You say, do you have any openings at this time? A lot of times the answer is going to be no, people don't have openings. But if somebody just left, there's a good chance they want that job filled quick. And if you're the kind of person who can do the job, it doesn't cost them anything to have you come in and talk to them. So cold calling is a critical component of your job search. Now, like I said, most employers at any given moment aren't necessarily having a crisis where they need to hire somebody. But you can call about 20 people an hour. You figure 3, 4, 5 minutes per call at the most, just to find out. You can rack up 15 to 20 of them fairly quickly. So if you just do cold calling for 2 hours and you end up calling, let's say, 40, 50 different companies during that time, and 1 out of every 10 of those says, yeah, we're hiring, you've got 5 new leads if only 1 out of 10 is hiring. So that's 5 leads that you can now go online or run down to that business and fill out an application. That gets you in even before anyone else out there knows about the job. So when one ad gets put out, you're competing against the entire metropolitan area. 1 million people are looking at those want ads. People are looking through, digging through. They may get 40, 50, 60, 100 applications. And you're going to be in that same stack with all of those other people. But if you catch them before they advertise, by having you come in and apply for that job, you might save them money. So you're one person that they get to talk to. So cold calling is critical. Now, cold calling takes some preparation. You can't just call up an employer and start talking. You have to have a plan for cold calling on what you're going to say. The way you ought to say it is you ought to introduce yourself and then talk about your skills. Use your introduction from your interview or use your 30-second commercial. Talk to them about your skills. Talk to them about who you are and what you can do for the company. After you've said all of that, then ask, do you have any openings? If they say no, ask, well, do you anticipate having any openings in the future? You're priming them so that they start thinking about this qualified guy who just called with all of these skills. You've got them excited and you want them to think about, how can I get this person into my company? It's also okay to ask if you can call back in a couple weeks and see if they have any openings. They might say, sure, or they may give you another number to call. But you've got them thinking about you in the future. And at that point in time, if your application comes in, they'll remember that. You're that guy who called a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I remember you. So it's important that we work out the script on how we're going to approach our cold calling so it can be effective, efficient, and get your point across, selling your skills.